Look, let me tell you something real simple. You will never rise higher than the standards you set for yourself. If you keep living life accepting average, you're gonna keep getting average. If you keep hanging around people who think small, act lazy, and talk fear, you're gonna start moving like them too. Don't get it twisted. I'm not judging you. I'm trying to wake you up. I'm trying to get you to realize that where you are right now is not your limit. It's your current standard. And if you don't raise that standard, nothing else changes. You want next level living? Then you gotta stop accepting things that don't belong in the next level life. That means no more saying, it's good enough. No more saying, at least I tried. No more saying, at least I tried. No more saying, this is just the way I am. No, that kind of language, that kind of thinking, that belongs to the old you, not the version of you that's chasing greatness, not the version of you that's climbing, pushing, and refusing to settle. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you demanded more from yourself? Not from your boss, not from your team, not from your family, but from you. When was the last time you said, I'm better than this, and actually meant it? See, it's easy to point fingers and say that they didn't support me, or I didn't have the resources, or life ain't fair. But let me tell you something. Life responds to standards. Life don't give you what you want, it gives you what you tolerate. And if you're tolerating laziness, procrastination, excuses, disrespect, distraction, then that's exactly what life will keep handing you day after day. You gotta raise your standard every area of your life. I'm talking about your health, your habits, your hustle, your mindset, your relationship. Don't say you wanna be a millionaire, but you wake up at 10 a.m. and don't read a single book. Don't say you wanna be a champion, but you skip workouts and eat fast food 5 times a week. Don't say you want peace, but you keep entertaining toxic people and drama. That don't line up. The life you want and the actions you're taking, they don't match. You gotta live like your standards are the blueprint of your future, because they are. Every decision you make flows from the standard you've set. If your standard is I always show up early, then that's exactly what you do. If your standard is I never quit when it gets hard, then you don't fold when pressure shows up. But if your standard is I'll try, or maybe tomorrow, or we'll see, then guess what? You already lost. You already gave up your power to win. I'm not telling you to be perfect. I'm telling you to be purposeful. High standards don't mean you never make mistakes. It means when you do, you don't accept staying down. You correct it, you learn, and you rise higher. You stop letting setbacks turn into identities. You stop letting temporary defeat become permanent failure. The standard is, I keep rising, I keep moving, I keep growing. That's what separates the great from the average. Let me be real with you. Some of y'all are loyal to your limitation. You've been telling yourself the same story for 10, 15, 20 years. I'm just not built for this. But don't have the talent? I wasn't raised with discipline. Listen to me. Your past doesn't set your standard. Your vision does. Your decisions do. You gotta look at where you wanna go and say, what kind of person gets there? Then you raise your standard to match that vision. If you wanna be the best, stop acting like the rest. If you want uncommon results, you gotta live by uncommon rules. While they sleeping, you grinding. While they partying, you planning. While they complaining, you building. That's what raising your standard looks like. It's lonely, it's hard. It requires you to do what others want so you can live like others can't. You wanna attract excellence? Then you gotta be excellence. You gotta speak excellence. You gotta think excellent. You gotta live excellence. Stop talking about what you want and stop becoming it. Change your language. Change your circle. Change your morning routine. Raise the bar and then live like the bar is your baseline, not your goal. Because once you raise your standard, you raise your identity. And once you raise your identity, you change your destiny. Everybody out here is chasing motivation. Everybody looking for their next video, that next quote, that next moment to get fired up. They want something to hype them up, some feeling, some spark. But let me tell you something, motivation is temporary. Motivation is that rush you feel when the music is loud and the lights are on. It's that joy you get when you hear me speak or watch a clip of somebody who's made it. But guess what? The music stops, the lights turn off, the clip ends, and when all that fades, what are you left with? Discipline or a lack of it? See, motivation is like fuel. It'll get the car started, but it won't keep you on the road when the engine starts knocking and the storms roll in. You don't win championships because you felt motivated. You win because you showed up on the days you didn't want to. You hit that gym when your body said no. You studied when your mind said just chill. You worked your craft when no one was clapping. That's what discipline is. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. You want to be great? Stop chasing feelings. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop telling yourself you'll start when you're ready. Newsflash, you're never going to feel completely ready. There's always going to be something. Fear, doubt, tiredness, distractions. That's why discipline is the separator. That's why so many people talk about goals, but never reach them. They're motivated one week, but they ghost their dreams the next. Discipline is what keeps a fire burning after motivation burns out. People ask me, how do you stay consistent? How do you stay hungry? And I tell them, I don't rely on emotion. I rely on principle. I made a decision. I made a vow. I won't let how I feel dictate how I move. I got a mission, and I move whether it's sunny or stormy, whether I feel like I'm not. Because I understand something most people don't. Your emotions are liars. Your feelings are inconsistent. You can't trust them. One moment you're on fire. The next you're ready to quit. That's not how you build something that lasts. Discipline is a mindset, it's a lifestyle. It's waking up early when the bed feels too good. It's sticking to the plan when distractions scream louder than your purpose. It's choosing the gym over the couch, the book over the phone, the grind over the comfort. It's saying no to the moment so you can say yes to the mission. And it's not glamorous. Nobody sees it. Nobody applauds it. But discipline builds things that hype can't. It builds character. It builds habits. It builds legacy. And don't confuse it. Discipline ain't about being rigid or robotic. It's about being intentional. It's about knowing what you want and organizing your life to reflect that. Some of y'all are waiting for life to give you what you haven't prepared for. You praying for opportunities, but you haven't built the structure to receive them. You dreaming big, but your daily habits are small. You saying you want the next level, but your routines still look like the old you. That's the problem. You're motivated by the vision, but undisciplined in the process. Let me make this clear. Discipline doesn't mean you're perfect. You're going to slip. You're going to mess up. But when you're disciplined, you don't stay down. You correct. You adjust. You get back up. Discipline don't fold when it gets tough. It tightens up. It doesn't shrink when setbacks come. It stands firm. And that's why it's powerful. Because discipline isn't just something you do. It becomes who you are. You start to identify as someone who finishes, someone who commits, someone who gets it done no matter what. And guess what? The more you act with discipline, the easier it becomes. The more you tell your body to move, even when it doesn't feel like it, the stronger your mind becomes. You start to train your brain to understand you are in control. Not your feelings, not your environment, not your past, you. And that's when real change happens. That's when you start to shift from hoping to having, from wishing to winning, from dreaming to doing. So stop telling me how fired up you are. Stop telling me what you're going to do. Let me see it. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Your grind speak louder than your goals. When motivation dies down, and it will, let your discipline carry you through. Let it become your anchor, your weapon. Your weapon. Because in the end, the ones who win are not the ones who shouted the loudest when they felt inspired. The ones who win are the ones who showed up every single day, whether they felt like it or not. That's next level. That's greatness. That's how you execute. Everybody got 24 hours. Nobody walking this earth with 25. Not the billionaires, not the champions, not the legends. They got the same time you do. So the question is not, do I have enough time? The real question is, what am I doing with the time I got? Because the difference between average and elite, the difference between dreaming and doing, between surviving and thriving, it all comes down to how you own your 24. You out here saying you want greatness, saying you want to build a legacy, saying you want to change your family's future. But let me look at your calendar. Let me see your routine. Let me see how you spend your day. And what I see too often, it don't match the ambition coming out your mouth. You say you want success, but your habits still belong to someone who's okay being comfortable. You say you want to level, but you're still wasting time like you got forever. You don't. Time is the most valuable currency you have. More than money, more than fame, more than connection. Because you can lose money and make it back. You can lose a job and find another one. But when you waste a day, you don't get it back. And too many people are living like they got all the time in the world. You scroll for hours, binge watch like your life ain't on the line, sleep in like your dream will wait for you. But I got news for you. Your dream won't wait. Your purpose won't wait. Life don't pause just because you lazy. Every second you wait, someone else is grinding, someone else is grinding. Someone else is working on the very thing you say you wanted. So while you watching, they winning. While you hesitating, they executing. While you making excuses, they making moves. That's the truth. And it's not because they're better. It's because they own their 24. They guard their time like a treasure. They treat every hour like it's an investment, and that's why they grow. You got dreams, but dreams require management. You can't just wish for success. You gotta schedule success. You gotta get up every day with a plan. You gotta know what your priorities are before the distractions show up. Because if you don't run your day will run you. And when that happens, when you don't take control, you give your time away to people, to notification, to mindless activity. Then the sun goes down and you're left wondering where the day went. Wake up early, not because it sounds cool, not because it's a trend, but because the earlier you rise, the more control you have. Before the world wakes up, you put in that work. Before the noise starts, you hear your own voice. You get focused, you align, you set your energy, your attention, your direction, own the morning and you own the day. That's how you separate yourself. Not with talent, but with time ownership. And don't tell me you don't have time. That's the biggest lie you telling yourself. You have time. You just ain't prioritizing. You spending time, not investing it. Look at your screen time. Look at the hours lost to gossip, games, garbage. You don't lack time. You lack discipline. You lack clarity. And when you lack clarity, you drift. You wander through the day hoping to stumble into success. That don't work. Success is intentional. It's strategic. Every hour matters. You want to change your life. Change how you treat your 24. Protect it. Plan. Get around people who respect it. Stop giving it to energy vampire. Stop lending it to things that don't align with your goals. And stop thinking busy means productive. You can be busy doing nothing that moves you forward. Start doing the things that actually build your future. Learning, building, creating, executing. Block distractions, schedule growth. Be where your feet are and stay locked in. And when you own your 24, you start feeling different. You walk different. You talk different. You feel in control because you're not drifting through life anymore. You're driving. You're steering it with intention, with fire, with purpose. That builds confidence. That builds momentum. And that's when doors start opening. Not because you got lucky, but because you prepared. You want success. You want greatness. Then treat your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Every minute you waste is a minute you'll never get back. So stop living on autopilot. Wake up with purpose. Move with urgency. Lock in with discipline. You don't need more time. You just need to own the time you already have. Master your 24 and you'll master your future. You keep asking for the next level, but you're running from the very thing that's going to take you there. You keep praying for strength, but then avoid the situations that would actually make you stronger. You say you want to grow. You want to become the best version of yourself. But the moment pain shows up, the moment discomfort knocks on your door, you retreat. You step back. You shut down. You shut down. But I came here to tell you, the next level is not on the other side of comfort. It's on the other side of pain. See, the problem is we've been conditioned to think pain is bad. We've been told to avoid it, numb it, medicate it, distract ourselves from it. But the truth is, pain is the process. Pain is the prerequisite. Pain is the pathway. You can't get stronger without it. You can't get sharper without it. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Steel is forged in fire and greatness. It's birthed in adversity. It's molded in discomfort. If you want to go to that next level, you're going to have to stop fearing pain and start respecting it. When you look at the greats, the real ones, You think they got there by coasting? You think they arrived at the top without going through seasons of struggle? Nah, they didn't run from the grind. They embraced it. They didn't quit when it got tough. They leaned in. They made a decision. I will not let pain break me. I will let it build me. That's the mindset. That's the shift. You have to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because pain always comes with purpose. Always. It's not random. It's not punishment. It's preparation. You don't grow when everything's going smooth. You grow when it's hard. When your back's against the wall, when nothing is working, but you keep moving anyway. That's where character is formed. That's where mindset is shaped. That's where warriors are made, not in comfort, but in chaos. And listen, I'm not saying enjoy the pain. I'm saying endure it. Use it. Let it teach you something about yourself that nothing else could. You never know how strong you are until strong is your only option. You never know how committed you are until quitting seems easier than continuing. That moment when everything in you says, stop, but something greater in you says, go. That's the moment you're stepping into your next level. That's the exact space where the transformation happens. But if you quit, you miss it. If you retreat, you forfeit it. You're walking away from the very thing that was about to elevate you. Pain forces you to focus. Pain will reveal what matters most. When you go through real struggle, financial struggle, emotional struggle, physical struggle, you don't have time for distractions. You don't care about clout. You don't care about lights. You care about getting through, getting better, getting stronger. That's the beauty of it. Pain strips away the fluff. It puts your priorities in check. It humbles you, yes. But it also hardens you. It builds that inner grit that no book, no coach, no video can give you. See, everybody wants the crown, but they don't want the cross. Everybody wants the rewards, but they don't want the responsibility. Everybody wants to be praised, but nobody wants to suffer. And that's why only a few make it. That's why only a few separate themselves. Not because they're more talented, not because they're smarter, but because they made peace with pain. They understood that struggle was part of the story. That scars are proof you fought for something. That pain is not the enemy, comfort is. And the reality is you're gonna feel pain either way. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The pain of grinding when it's uncomfortable or the pain of wishing you had when it's too late. So don't think you can avoid pain and still win. Don't think you can skip the hard parts and still get the crown. If you want the glory, you gotta endure the grind. You gotta suffer for a season to succeed for a lifetime. So stop cursing the pain and start using it. Let it fuel you. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it remind you that you're in the process of becoming something greater. Pain is not the end. It's the beginning. It's not the obstacle. It's the way through. It's not the enemy. It's the key. You just gotta keep going. Keep fighting. Keep growing. The next level is waiting, and the pain is your ticket in. You can't just pray about it and sit on your hands waiting for something to fall from the sky. You can't just grind day and night and not believe it's possible. It don't work like that. You need both. Faith and work, one without the other. Incomplete. You want next level results. Then you need next level belief. And you need next level execution. That's the formula. That's the combo. Faith plus work equals result. Not one or the other. Both. See, some of you got crazy faith. You believe in a vision. You believe in a promise. You believe something great is ahead. You got vision boards, affirmations. You got every scripture highlighted and memorized. And that's beautiful. That's necessary. Faith is the foundation. Faith gives you the courage to dream bigger than your surroundings. It lets you see beyond what your circumstances say. But if you're not putting in the work, then all that belief is just potential energy. It's untapped power. You can believe for harvest all day long, but if you didn't plant seeds, you're not getting fruit. Then on the other side, you got people who grind like monsters. They are before the sun. They putting in reps. They're moving nonstop, hustling, pushing, nonstop effort. But deep down, they don't believe they're worthy. They don't believe it's possible for them. So they self-sabotage. They second guess. They shrink when opportunity knocks. And they wonder why it's not clicking. Because hard work without belief will eventually break you. You'll start feeling like you're doing all this for nothing. You'll burn out, not because of the work, but because of the lack of belief behind. It's gotta be both. Faith gives you vision and work gives you motion. Faith sets the destination, work gets you on the road. Faith says it's possible, and work says, oh, let's go get it. You can't just hope. You can't just hustle. You need both operating at full power and sync every single day. That's how you go from stuck to successful. That's how you go from potential to purpose. That's how you go from dreaming about it to doing it. When I was broke, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash can, I had nothing. No money, no home, support system. But you know what I did have? I had faith. I believed in something bigger than my situation. I believed I wasn't born just to suffer. I believed I was created for more. And then I worked. I didn't just sit around waiting for someone to save me. I got up early. I read books. I studied successful people. I built myself from the inside out. I believed, and I moved. That's what got me here. Not just belief, not just hustle, but belief that fueled the hustle, faith that powered the work. Every single morning I wake up and I thank God, and then I get to work. I don't just pray for success, I prepare for success. I don't just ask for opportunities, I build myself to be ready when they come. And that's what you gotta do. You can't control the outcome, but you can control your effort and your expectation. That's your power. Some of y'all are waiting for perfect conditions before you move, waiting until you feel confident, waiting until it makes sense. But faith don't wait for clarity. Hey, faith creates clarity. Faith moves when it's dark. Faith moves when there's no proof. Yeah. And you back that faith up with work, with reps, with consistency, with showing up even when you're tired, even when no one claps, even when it feels like nothing is changing. You stay in motion because your belief says the breakthrough is on the way, and you don't stop when it gets hard. You don't stop when it takes longer than expected. You keep pushing because you know what you're working toward is worth it. You keep believing because you know delay is not denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not coming. Some of the biggest blessings take time, and the only way to receive them is to keep showing up with faith in your heart and sweat on your forehead. The people who win, they don't just outwork others, they outbelieve them too. They wake up with purpose. They move with conviction. They don't need to see the whole staircase. They just keep taking the next step. They're not scared of the unknown because their faith is louder than their fear. They're not waiting for signs. They are the sign. So today, make the decision. Not just to grind, not just to dream, but to bring both together. Wake up and pray, then go put in the work. Visualize the goal, then go chase it like your life. Your life depends on it. Speak it into existence, then back it up with relentless execution. That's how results happen. That's how success is built. Faith plus work, that's the next level.